State Impact Oklahoma follows Oklahoma's energy industry. I talked to State Impact reporter Joe Wirtz about the oil trains and a court challenge of tax incentives for oil and gas producers. Joe, what's been the industry's stance on keeping these details secret?
Well, certainly the rail industry has wanted to keep it secret. I mean, part of the reason that it is secret in Oklahoma is that the rail companies put some pressure on the Department of Environmental Quality to not release this information. They say, we don't want these trains to be a terrorist target, which is curious because these tanks are on trains that go down the street in the middle of the day. You could see them for miles. They're here near the studio, driving down the track with these things on it. So the industry has wanted to keep it secret, and a lot of states have obliged.
But they maintain it as a security issue.
That's what they say. It also seems like a security issue from the fact that some of these are derailing and exploding in other states.
Another issue that the energy industry is watching concerns tax incentives for drilling. What's the latest on that and a lawsuit that's been filed challenging a new state law?
Well, it's going to court, next week, and so we're going to see. Jerry Fent, a kind of local attorney and thorn in the side of lawmakers here, has filed a lawsuit, and he says, the tax incentive bill that went through during the last legislative session is invalid. This is a procedural complaint he has, and he says they didn't follow the proper procedure for a revenue bill. And he says all this rejiggering of this incentive rate is it's a revenue bill. We're messing with tax revenue. So they didn't do what they needed to do to pass this bill. Therefore, it's invalid. Could create quite an effect.
The hearing on this is coming up on Tuesday. What are the arguments, other than that one from Jerry Fent, what are the arguments that are going to be heard and the parties that are involved in this?
Well, it's wide-ranging. So the oil and gas industry, they didn't get quite everything they wanted in the bill, but generally they're supportive of it. And they say, look, this is a good bill. There's some questions about procedure, but they think it was a solid bill and the procedure was fine. The basic, and a lot of the Republican lawmakers agree because they push for it. But what they're arguing is the extra burden for a revenue bill really deals with tax increases, and they're arguing that this isn't a tax increase; it's just an incentive. It's a tax incentive that they're dealing with. So if it doesn't involve tax increases, it's not really a revenue bill.
And a lot of people and organizations have gotten involved in this case.
Sure. All the oil industry representatives are speaking out. The mineral owners groups, these types of things, are saying, look, we want to leave this bill alone. We don't want any more uncertainty, because that was the real thing that they were talking about. They want this to be certain.
What happens if this bill fails?
Well, that's a good question. We could have to revisit the oil and gas tax debate, which was a heated thing this year. Extra scrutiny is not going to be good if you're in favor of this incentive. The other thing is what it means fundamentally for what is a revenue bill. I mean, that's a question that's worded a certain way that Fent keeps challenging. He's challenging lots of stuff along these lines. And what are the parameters of this procedural rule? Could really help clarify that, and if the court takes a real hard look at it, could have a big impact on bills in general.
Joe Wirtz, reporter for State Impact Oklahoma. Thank you.
Thank you.